Alright then, welcome. Today is another art stream. I did pick up a couple of references beforehand, but I didn't get my timing quite right as I only just recently started to look into things. The one reference I didn't think to grab was a picture of Moody himself. I'm gonna have to get that. Hopefully he's dropped a PNG recently so that I can find a high quality image of himself. There we are. Now then, just to save these images. Alright, so this is a concept based on a tweet that he posted, which was his, was it the ideal Vtuber persona? Something along that line? The randomly generated Vtuber avatar. So I decided that I wanted to draw that, because it seemed interesting. Now then, let me actually pull up that prompt so that I can accurately represent it in all facets. Alright, back to his profile then, I guess. Or actually, I responded to that post, so I can just go through my profile, I think. I'm still not entirely certain how Twitter works. There we go. Alright. I'll just save that image as well. There we are. So that is my prompt. Moody, but an energetic female firefighter with brown braided hair and massive bust size. But no matter how much I'm egged, I will not be drawing lewd art. Now then, the firefighter pose that I selected is going to be this one. I want to get this sort of pose. Moody is an adventurer, so he has a sword, as you can see there. So that will be turned into a shovel or a firefighter's axe, something of that nature. And I just need to add assets. However, they will be mostly covered by firefighter gear, because firefighting is a very dangerous profession, and if you're not properly covered, then you're going to get burned. I don't care if you're half orc, fire is still hot. Now then, considering where to start, I'm probably going to want to keep aspects of Moody's design, or else it would just be any other orc. So probably the hair shape, the long spike in the front will be staying, scar over the eye. Perhaps I'll have the mask partially off, or at least off to the side so that you can see the face. I don't want it to be completely obscured, because then all I'll be doing is drawing a firefighter, which is not what I am aiming to do. So then, pointed ears, hair spike in the center, needs to be braided. I'm trying to think how that'd work. Maybe there's maybe just the helmet, no mask, so that you can see the braid coming down the side. Give Moody the dead anime mother haircut. Let's see. And energetic. I have to convey an energetic sort of appearance or posture, facial expression, that sort of thing. So, what I'm going to do is grab this picture and just take it over to the main canvas. Oh, that's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Now then, I can just cut out a big portion of what's on that side. What have I done? Oh, I didn't move anything. That's right. That's fine. So now I can delete that layer. I guess reselect this so that I can size it up. Right? I'm not on the correct layer. Size it up so that I can have a reference on page as to what I am attempting to emulate appearance-wise. Alright, so let's drop the opacity of that down. I can move it even further to the side because I don't care about the end of the item just now. Alright, so we have head shape. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. I need to create a new one. This will be sketch. Now then, going to want a line that's a bit thicker than that. That seems a bit too much. Drop it down to half size. That's a bit too little. 12 is fine. Okay, so I want the head shape. So it's looking straight forwards, which is good because I've been drawing far too many poses where the head is not facing forwards, and it's very difficult to do that. Now, let's see. That's a good angle. So slightly down to the, what is that, there left. All right. Now, because of how bulky firefighters' clothes are, the shoulders are around, like, chin height, so there's no real neck visible. So everything's fairly covered. And also, because of the pose, it's more visible, the center of the chest, which is an important part of this drawing prompt. Also, that's probably a bit too far over to the left. There was no room for the arm to come down. So then, let's just get the general body shape in. So, there's no hard lines at the shoulder. It just sort of comes straight down. And because of how baggy the clothes are, there isn't really any defined elbow joints in here. Let's see. Let's bump up the opacity of that so that I can get like an accurate look into the armpit region. So the armpit's around here, but there's it almost reconnects at, because this is where the elbow line is, and that's where it connects to the body. So the armpit almost hits the elbow line because of how baggy the clothes are. So I'm going to, oh, I also realized that I'm sketching in very dark purple. Okay. And also there should be a bit of foreshortening on this arm, because this is the line of, let's see, this is the line of the bicep. It heads out like this, but then it comes towards the screen. So, let's see. If I'm remembering my foreshortening correctly, things get larger the closer they are to the camera. But this is just a very, very slight angle forward. So, it's almost ignorable, I think, in this. However, I will want to convey that that is the elbow, or no, the elbow crease will be further down the arm, around here. I want to convey that that crease is, in fact, facing towards us and the arm is moving forwards. So I'm just going to want to get the full length of the arm in here, and then we can follow the torso down. And the hand is around hip height, so we're going to draw in the artificial line of the hip there, And the hand is facing this way with the thumb curving around like that. And grabbing the end of a shovel or axe, whatever I decide to have in the hand. Like that. Alright. So, that is the base sketch for that area. And the clothes will be bagging up, so it'll cut off this sort of portion of visible arm. Let's see. So we can move on to the other half of the body now. The one that will lightly cover... lightly be covered by my actual drawing. So, the line of the arm... Let's see. So the torso is slightly turned. So this arm is in the back, and this arm is in the front. So the torso actually makes like this sort of motion. That's a bit too extreme of a curve, but it's understandable. So this leg is also further back than this leg. The right leg is further back than the left. Okay. Let's see. Massive bust size. So, what did you say? How far down would that go? Around here? They start mid-chest, and the end point's going to be, I don't know, the base will be around there, so... And it'll be, you know, relatively compacted because of the firefighter's vest. I'll get rid of those reference points. I can also get rid of this hip line because it's throwing me off. Let's see, so the hip line, let's see, down from the shoulders. Let's see, what is it? Control-Alt for straight lines? No. Control-Tab? No, it's not Control-Tab. What is it? Control-Alt? There's some way to just make straight lines, and I don't remember what it is. Let's see. Shift just makes it a straight line, but I want it to be straight downwards. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to measure from where... Let's see. So the shoulder actually comes up around here, and this is the hood. So... Let's see, relatively straight down where the shoulder meets. Okay. So, if I were to scale this, we have hip to hip. Let's see, this hip is slightly wider because it's obviously closer to the camera. Let's see, I probably shouldn't be too detailed about this either, so straight down from the hip, that's around here. Oh, I think the sensitivity on my mouse changed. Let me just no, that's too high now. There we are. That's about right. So, as for down, it hits here, just about. Alright, so the hip on this side is slightly longer than the hip on that side. So that's about where it should fall. I'm just going to do a straight line up. Even though that's not how the human body works, it's fine. Oh, and also this does appear to be, like, just based on... I actually can't tell. I was going to say it seems to be a male firefighter, but... Give me any indication of their gender based on this. Or their sex. Yeah, no, it's very difficult to tell. But since this is going to be an anime, hips exist. So I will draw those in, despite my Nature. Alright. This arm is actually very nice to draw because it's at a flat angle. Oh, I actually got the outlines pretty spot on there. Right, but it is at a flat angle. There's no real shortening or anything that needs to be done. The elbow is facing inwards towards the body. Makes it a very easy line to follow. And you'll notice that the point of the armpit is a lot higher up. Because it's not resting directly against the body. So there's no real line to draw. However, it is still slightly lower than the actual line of the armpit. It's around here. Right, and then, no, that's too broad for the shoulder. Even with the jacket. Ooh, that was a messy line. What is happening with this line? Is it the brush I'm using? I always use G-Pen. I don't know what the other brushes really... Do I have some sort of setting on? It feels like it. I think I might have turned something on that causes it to be difficult for me to, like, curve. Yeah, look at that. I did not make that movement with my mouse. Stabilization, that's probably what it is. Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a bit better. It's still making, like, weird squiggles when I'm drawing in a relatively straight line, I feel. Yeah, I did not make that movement. Let's see, adjust by speed. Alright, if I disable that, it's still doing it. What if I crank stabilization up to the maximum? All of my lines are far too smooth now. Amusingly smooth, honestly. Okay, drop stabilization back down to 0. I feel like there are some sort of settings that I could tweak. Brush size, color jitter? What is that? Anti-aliasing, brush shape. There's a whole mess of things. Let's see. Correction. Taper, vector management. You draw a line near others on vector layer. I'm not drawing on vector layer. I'm drawing on, what is this? Roster layer. That's probably not the issue. Anti-overflow. Yes, the settings in Clip Studio Paint are far more complicated than what I'm used to. And what I'm used to is no complicated settings. I think I just have to draw slowly. I think that's the solution to my problem. Alright. So then, this arm hits the elbow and then drops in a nearly straight line. And now, sort of like this. That angle is fairly good, right? This is still bulky, so we want this portion of the arm to be slightly wider. And it comes down at a less severe angle because of the width of the sleeve. Alright. So there we go. That's just the general torso shape. The hat comes to around here. There we are. And I will want to include the hat. Let's see. So, let's see, because of perspective, when I have the curve in, so let's just delete this hat. So, this is the brim of the hat, and this is where the brim meets the body, which should end slightly outside of the head. like this. And then, oh, come now. Don't freeze on me now. So that comes out and forms the edge of the brim that we see. And then, oh, from that edge, we get the top of the hat, which also has a crease running down the center. And some sort of, I guess that's an identification plate. I thought it was like a thermometer or something, but that would be utterly useless on your own forehead unless you wanted to tell somebody else what the temperature was. But if you're a firefighter, the temperature is probably just going to be hot. Alright, so thumb. The thumb doesn't even come out, so sort of like this. And then fist like that. Okay. And then from here down, we have legs, sort of wide stance, well grounded, and the feet will be angled forwards like this. This is obviously not accurate thickness. I just want to get the... Should they be pointed towards each other? That's a thing, right? Let's see, maybe the left foot will be pointed more forwards. Or like this. Obviously those aren't to scale. Oh my. Yes, no, not to scale at all. The lower body should be, you know, at least as long as the torso. Let's just drop that down to the very bottom of the page then. Yes, apply the transformation. Why do you think I'm attempting to change tools? Now then, deselect. And I'll just reconnect the legs. Alright, that's roughly the sketch. And I'll just put a shovel head on here. Or an axe. I think an axe would probably be better than a shovel. Let's see, what do firefighter axes look like? I feel like they probably have some sort of specific design. Yes, they have the hook at the back. I guess they also don't have the flattened handle of a shovel at the back, so I'm not going to be having the shovel base in there then. So, axe handle, yeah, it's just smooth all the way down. Sort of a bit of recurve at the base. I'll just take the first picture off of Google Images and bring that in. There we are. Save image and download. And let's get you on the page. There we go, I have a reference for a firefighter's axe. I'm just going to get the outline of this. Let's see. Oh, I want to draw that on a new layer. Never mind. New layer. Just get the outline. I can just directly transpose this. Sort of shape. Like that. So that's the axe head. And it's got a very specific recurve down here at the base. So it curves back in sort of the opposite direction of the handle. And the handle itself is shaped to accommodate the grip of a hand. There we go, like this. Alright. Now I can just take this layer. Let's see. Okay, I'll just select the image and copy it. That works as well. Cut. Paste. So here we have the fire axe. Now then, let's resize this and get it into the correct position. Select. So it's going to be like this. And we want it to be facing the opposite direction, like that. There we are. So then, increase the size. Let's see, and it's going to have to be held differently. So both hands are going to be in the same position as the right hand. So that is a perspective that needs to be altered a little bit. Here we are. Oh, it does not like moving that much stuff. All right. So that's the general shape of it. We can finalize that. All right. Now then, I can actually combine these layers. Or rather, I'd like to erase the base layer of the axe before I actually get to work. Oh, is this drawn on the firefighter layer? No, it is. Did I draw anything on the sketch layer? This is a fairly large oversight. Okay. Let me just move over to the sketch layer and see if anything's on it. Ah, the arm and shoulder, or the head and shoulder. Okay. And this is fairly fixable. Yes, it is. Okay. So if I do this, and I just select the fireman, and I cut that, just name this firefighter reference. And I combine all of the layers. So, transfer to lower layer. No. Merge with layer below. Merge with layer below. There we go. Now all of the sketches on the same layer. And the reference is on its own layer. Oh. Apologies, my chronic pain's acting up a bit earlier than it normally does when I stream. I wanted to finish this today, honestly. That might not be possible right now. Oof. Okay. So, drop the opacity. Let's get the head shape in. So, this is where the firefighter himself can actually leave. I want to be using Moody as a reference, so that I can get the similar face shape and facial structure in, while feminizing some details. So, firefighter, you can go invisible for now. And I will select this. cut it out and bring it over. Ooh, he has a fairly large picture, huh? Very high quality. Now just shrink that down. All right. Nope. I want to move this slightly lower. Okay, so. Okay, time to start transferring details. What is layer 1? Is anything on layer 1? I don't think so. I'm going to get rid of it. And hopefully nothing of value will be lost. Yes, it doesn't look like anything was. Alright. Okay. Just drop the transparency down a little bit more. So, one of the main prompts in here that's contrary to Moody's original design, apart from everything, is energetic. Moody is... It typically looks fairly moody. So I'm going to have to put some energy into that face. So, what that says to me is an open-mouthed smile. I'm also going to want thinner lines if I'm going to be moving on to designing the face. So, let's just get in so that we can get all of the detail we need. So, energetic means open-mouthed smile. We want softer corners for the mouth. Let's see. So, how do we want... Let's see, how wide is Moody's mouth? Let's actually just move it over as well. Moody, you sit right there. I can go side by side. So, yeah, his mouth reaches about halfway through his eyes, so this can be a rather large mouth. With the idea that this is a fairly Yankee character. So, rounded corners of the mouth. Like this. Wide open-mouthed smile. A softer curve there. Not quite right. There we go. That looks good. Protruding bottom canines. Typical of an orc. Or half orc in his case. So then, do I want to draw in the rest of the teeth? I don't think so. I think this is a smile that only shows fangs. Now then, as for the nose, since this is a more feminine design, it's going to want to be smaller. But those always look comedic. I think just a single line for the nose will do it for this. And we want... So Moody has the... That shape of eye. So we're probably going to want to maintain that detail, but also make the eye wider and brighter. So then... And also maybe to soften the edges. Now then, let's see. So it should be sort of like this. And then curve the edges to give it a softer appearance. I should probably also be a bit lower on the head. This should be the eye line here. sort of like this, and then like that. Moody has thick eyebrows. They're almost as thick as his eyes. But they obviously won't be as thick here since the eyes are increasing in size. Let's see, I think this angle should be a bit more like that, while still maintaining as soft a curve as possible. Let's see, but we also don't want it reaching the center of the face, so perhaps we cut it down to size a little bit. So sort of like this. Yes, that seems fairly good. As we don't want the eyes being too sharp, but we still want to maintain some of the edge in it so that it's recognizably his design. Let's see. So then we have the other eye here. I will probably change up some details once I have more concrete appearances. So we're going to want a very thin line for this. I'll go down to brush size 2. That seems about good. For the outline of the eyes. So more of the eye is going to be visible. So let me actually just get in the outline here. Let's see, this eye seems a bit narrower than the other one. So sort of like this. Yes, that looks fine. Alright, so then the eye itself, let's see, he has fairly gangimari eyes, so I think I will attempt to replicate that. So energetic but still gangimari. Which does mean very large irises. This is the most character design that I have ever done while drawing something, since I'm normally going off of direct reference. Let's see, maybe the nose should be moved down a little bit. Let's move that then. Come now. There we are. Put the nose slightly lower on the face. I think that's good. Wait a second. I've drawn literally nothing on the face layer. Everything is on the Moody reference. Well, that's also a very easy fix, since it's literally on its own layer. I can just go to the Moody layer and cut that out. And just rename this to face and pretend this never happened. And now I can get rid of the original face layer as if it never existed. Alright then. So, face, everything is on the face layer. Alright. Good. Now then, for face shape, we're still going to want to soften it. Let's see, brown braid. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to draw in the rim of the hat so that I know where the hairline should come in, like that. So, the hairline, I should probably put this on its own layer for hair. Now then, it comes down to around the nose. So we have one shock of hair coming in like this. I guess can cover a portion of the eye. So this is nice. It means I don't have to get in quite as many details. Let's see, sort of like this. So then that can be hidden behind the eye slightly. And then back out. Yes, and a fair amount of hair on the left side of his face. Slightly less on the left side, a wider part here. So let's get that part in with a slight amount of hair coming down like that. Making the curve slightly too wide, so let's see, that one should come down like that so that it can come straight up, I feel. That sort of angle seems most appropriate. Okay. So I will probably detail in some hairlines later on down the line. Oh, you know what? I should probably also correct some things because everything is still in the dark purple that I was using for the sketch. So I'm going to want to select everything, and I believe I can just change the color to flat black from here. Because I don't want his outline to be dark purple. I would prefer it to be flat black. Can I just bucket fill this? Will that do the trick? It stops at the hard corners. I'm gonna have to pay attention to where it does and doesn't. What a pain. I wish I'd caught this sooner. Ah. Ah, that's part of the face. That's why it's not working. There we are. I wonder, should I be... No. No, that's not how this works. Alright, back to the face. Let's get the outlines all in order here as well. Although, the dark purple outline doesn't look so bad. Perhaps I'll do something else in that style. Probably something to do with myself. Let's see, is that the entire brim that got it in one go? Wow, amazing. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, now back to the hair. Okay. Well, and there doesn't need to be. So, this is fairly general hair shape. The hair comes out a lot more on this side. Let's see, it should be straight down to around chin level, so around here. Sort of like this. And now, on this left side, let's see, let's actually go back to face and get the face shape in. So, Because we're drawing a gender-bent version, the jawline should definitely not be as sharp, but we also don't want it to be completely soft. So then, jawline. Let's see, this side of the face is fairly wide. I think maybe the jawline needs to come down lower, actually. Let's drop that down. Or like this. What happens if I get rid of the sketch? What does the face look like? Chin shouldn't be there. Chin should be here. Alright, let me just erase the bottom portion of the jaw. Then I want it to meet around here. That's too soft of a curve, though. Okay, so that's the base of the jaw. It should still be a fairly flat line. Maybe a light curve like that. This looks promising. Let's see, if I remove the sketch... Yeah, I think that'll work. Still a fairly angled jaw, but not severely. So that works well. Alright, and now, for what I've been fearing, a braid. Because from what I know, those can be incredibly difficult to draw. And by what I know, I mean by what I have heard. So, we're going with the... Let's see. I'm going to pull up a reference of dead anime mom hair. Just so that I can... I got a notification. I probably should have, I should have turned those off. Okay, yes. I want it to be a braid. Most of these are just ponytails. Let's see. Ah, here we are. This is the closest I can get. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the notification sounds now. There we are. Okay. Image in new tab. This is going to be a fairly small image, but all I really need is the reference for the hair. Let's see. Save image. Why not? Bring that onto this page. I just want this portion. Let's cut that out. Let's see. Do I need to put this on a new layer? Or will it make its own layer? It didn't even come over. I did press that button, didn't I? Oh, looks like it. Okay. How peculiar. It just didn't want to come over for some reason. Okay, so that is the general appearance that I want to get. So it should be coming down. Okay. So if I have the hair coming out like that. We have orc ear like this. Okay, wait, but first, when we get to the face, I can draw in the ear here. Let's see, angled slightly upwards. So that's the meeting point, and that's the starting point. Light angle like that. There we are. No. Do I round the tip a little bit? That looks a bit better. I think it comes too far out. Like I want it to be slightly shorter. Like here. Yeah. So round that tip, bring it down, and then back into the face where it would connect around here. Okay, so like that. The angle just isn't right. I'm going to get a direct reference on this angle. Okay. What about this shape am I getting wrong? I'm making it too large, maybe. The angle isn't steep enough. Well, perhaps I just use that as is. That's another possibility. Deselect it. Let me just bring it down then. And also scale it up slightly. Come now, move. Oh, that's what it was. It was too low down. The ear needs to be at eye level. I guess it just looked wrong for almost entirely different reasons than I thought. Or perhaps it just looked wrong anyways. Alright then. So, now we need the braid. So, going to come out like this. We're coming back around. Let's see, how long do I want to make this braid? Let's bring it down to around here. That seems good. Right, and now it comes out from... It's slightly obscured by the shape of the head. So it comes out from around here. Alright, so now... Let's see. But this is on the face layer. It should be on the hair layer. So then, my solution is to just trace over it on the hair layer and erase what's on the body layer. Even though this is just a general sketch of what the... Actually, you know what? It's better that it's on the body layer. Because now I can just outline it on the hair layer using the shapes that I want it to have. And I can erase the one that's on the body layer. Alright. So it's sort of just layers of V's. Almost. No, that doesn't look right. It needs to be one side coming into the other. Let's see. Braids are hard to draw, huh? Maybe I start at the base then. Okay, let me move this down here. Okay, so let me just see, what is the general shape that I'm going for? It is basically just a heart. A bunch of interlocking hearts. Yes, it's a whole bunch of interlocking hearts with sort of a gap in the middle that should be going opposite directions each time to denote what way the hair is tying into the other one. So then, let me get to work on that. So, let's reduce the opacity of the face layer for a second so that I can, okay, sort of meet the, back to hair layer. So, let's get the scrunchie in on this layer. It doesn't come too far out of the hair. It should close in on the center. Oh. Little news notification popped up. Apparently, WWE wrestler Brendan Williams is going to become a VTuber. I don't need that kind of competition, man. How am I supposed to compete against a wrestler? Oh, I'm still on the eraser. No, I'm not. I was just coloring it in white. Which I definitely want to erase because I don't want little bits of white just stuck on this canvas. There we go. There, scrunchy. And then little hearts. Okay, and this should look like a braid once I get rid of the layers and draw in the details. This is a fairly simple process, not much to talk about right now. I wonder, do I have any topics to discuss? Not particularly. I would like to work on collabs, honestly. I feel like I just sort of need to talk to people more. Or it's a lot more difficult than that. Because I did put out an open call among my mutuals. And even people who follow me without me following them back. I don't particularly mind. I am willing to follow people back. I just would like to either know that I will get along with them, or whether or not I directly have watched their content before and enjoyed it. That's my main criteria for me following someone back. I just sort of don't check up on a lot of the people who follow me back. Most of them are pre-debut as well, so they don't have any extreme footage. So it's hard to check them out. The only personality I can get is from the tweets, which aren't necessarily always representative of how that person behaves generally. Alright, so now I draw in these separating lines so that you can tell that these are two strands of hair, or not strands of hair, but groups of hair being woven together. Okay, braids aren't quite as difficult as I thought they would be. It's still a big undertaking, but not quite the Herculean task I thought it would be. I'm not curving these in the correct direction. They should be alternating. Oops. So now this one connects at that angle. This one connects at that angle. And that one connects at that angle. And now we have the loose shock of hair, sort of resembling a paintbrush. And just add in some extra detail lines there. Now, back to the face layer, and I can erase the base ponytail. And hopefully this looks fine. So you don't want to clip the ear at all. Alright, I think this is just about what I wanted. Yeah. I don't see any major issues with it. Let's get it behind the ear, though. Oops. I forgot that the hair itself was on the hair layer. That's a pretty obvious catch that I should have gotten. Now that hair behind ear. And I just need to bring the ear into, or the hair, something. I need to bring something into prominence. Okay. Here we are. Let's bring the face back. Yeah, that's about a braid. I feel like these should be connected like that. Yes, they shouldn't be hard lines like, or hard breaks in the hair. The hair should be connected like that. Okay. That's on the face layer. My mistake. Hair layer. Now then the curve continues upwards to the hair. Like that. No, I feel like I actually enjoy drawing braids. It's difficult and annoying, but it's a very simple pattern that I can just sort of not focus on too heavily. And there's probably a couple of key details that I'm missing in what I'm doing, but from my perspective, it all looks relatively fine. Alright, and I can get rid of the reference for the ponytail in a second. I think I am going to have to cut this stream before I finish it, which is very unfortunate. But my chest is not dealing very well with talking for this long. I'm not sure what's causing it to be worse today than normal, but I'm just not getting the same level of energy, and it's starting to hurt a fair amount. But I really wanted to finish this by today. it's just a one-person drawing. I guess the clothes are fairly detailed, so that's a bit difficult to get in on the sketch on day one. So maybe I'm being overly ambitious with this. But it seemed like something I could do in a single day. I got my Hanamakiya fan art done in 3 hours. Thanks for blocking that link, or no, spamming emotes. Mitz, sorry about that. Looks like Nightbot thought you were spam. I haven't adjusted it from just one? Yeah, looks like it. I'll probably adjust the settings after this. Alright. Let's see, and one recurve in here. There we are. So I can get rid of dead anime mom hair reference. You can go. I don't need you anymore. What's on the hair layer there? Okay. So, I guess Mit's just, if you're just checking in from this, one of my mutuals, Moody, where is it? Did one of these, so I am drawing the, yeah, that's fine. My last stream, that was yesterday that happened. I was doing Code Vein, but something about Code Vein doesn't agree with my computer very much. So my frame rate was very, very bad. And I'm not entirely certain what was causing it, because I wasn't dropping any frames. And I wasn't lagging on my end, it was just the game that was having issues. Yes, I'm drawing one of my mutuals, Moody, as a gender-bent firefighter with a disproportionately large bust. However, firefighters have very baggy clothing, so yeah, that won't be entirely apparent. Yes, you didn't miss much with the last stream. It was only an hour long as well. Okay, so this is looking fairly good from what I can tell. I just want... Right, I think I can pull off the Moody reference for now and bring back up the firefighter reference so that I can get the hat more accurate. Oops. Firefighter, come back over here. I'm just going to get rid of the background of the firefighter. Make it a bit easier on me to have the hat close to where I have everything else without having the background of the picture get in the way. There we are. So, let's see. I feel like I should probably put the hat on its own layer, but I already have the brim of the hat on the face layer, so that's fine. Now then, it's sort of peaked at the top like that to accommodate a groove in the center. Let's see. I'm probably not going to make it as detailed as this firefighter hat, just a simple flat yellow with the label in the front. So then, sort of like this. I got most of the detail that I wanted in the sketch itself. So that's the brim, and that's where the brim meets the top of the head. It's a hard incline into that, so it goes flat up. So maybe I want the brim to be slightly less wide than it is here. I can just cut that in. So I will I will select that, yeah. And I was also saying earlier, Mitz, that I was planning on ending this shortly. Probably not going to be running for all that much longer. Maybe another half hour at most. Because I'm starting to run into some of the chronic pain that I suffer if I am sitting up and talking or performing actions for too long. So don't expect me to be going for all that much longer. Although I do want to finish at least the face and probably move on to the body as well. Alright, so that's good. And I want to move this portion of the helmet in as well. I also need to remember to keep projecting my voice. I've noticed that that's an issue that I've been having, is that I sort of trail into a quieter tone of voice, and I need to remember to project more. I've never done any sort of public speaking before this, so I need to remember to keep my voice emphasized. Yes, there we are. So, brim straight up before we hit a curve. I think the brim's too straight on that side, actually. I want it to be straight up. It's ever so slightly angled inwards. That seems about accurate. And the ridge, I sort of made the helmet go a bit too high up on the original sketch. It should be resting somewhat closely against the head. So the ridge is around here. It's gonna sort of come in at an angle because the head is also slightly angled. Alright, and we'll just have the big old display here. That's probably got the name of the station that it's affiliated with on it. And it's also built around this in some way, so the ridge sort of follows the plaque in the front. And I want to curve it like that. But then because of how this helmet is... the helmet is angled. I guess it's not a very large ridge either. I just want to get the sort of shape in. Because probably the only way that I can really represent this accurately is with shading. Which I guess is something that I'm going to have to attempt to work with in this. Which is a bit difficult. I started doing some amount of shading work when I was creating thumbnails for my VODs. So I'm somewhat familiar with the process now. Or at least what I've interpreted the process to be. But other than that, I don't have any real ideas on how to properly shade something, which is an issue. Let's see. So if I just have it curve like that, and I have... Yes, if I just do this, and I just go over this sort of area in a slightly darker shade of yellow, although, know what? The side that's facing and is hit by the light doesn't really have that much definition. It sort of just cuts in at the top and around the base. So as long as I do this, it sort of just gives the impression that this is slightly raised. And the harder line is on the back area where there's more harsh shading. That's fine. I'll just probably have this say moody. I'll put that in a bit more detail once I'm moving on to the final phase. Okay. But that is the general face details and helmet details that I want out of the way. So I can actually move on to the body of this. So then, that calls for a new layer. Alright then. New layer. Let's see, this should be below hair, I feel like. Actually, you know what? Not just body, I'll have it be torso. Okay, so torso is where I was the roughest with my sketches. Are those lines on the actual firefighter drawing? They are. That's unfortunate. I probably should have thought ahead there. Okay. Yeah, so lines that I used to determine the proportions based on the head width and the hips. Okay, so that's around where the shoulder meets, because that is a large, or a heavy hood, I'm assuming. I'm probably also going to not bother with a lot of the specific details like radios and that kind of stuff. I do want to include things like Moody's belt and shoulder straps. Just so that I have slightly more details of him in the artwork rather than pure firefighter with an orc's face. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to get rid of the sketch for a second. That looks alright. I'm not going to complain about it. It looks alright for me, at the very least. Now then, I think I will skimp on the hood and just have it be baggy shoulder. So then, I guess the shoulder should come out slightly more before coming in. We don't want the hard shoulder angle. We also want a slightly narrower frame. I think the line that I have right now is just about correct. Just want it to curve in more and probably not go out quite as far. Right then. And this line in general is pretty good. So that is the line of the arm, but the line of the clothes should be around here then. So then I can get rid of that arm on the interior because that's mostly comprised of baggy clothing. Okay, and then the angle of the arm should change slightly around the elbow and come inwards. This, like that. So this is the point of the elbow. So I'm going to want to get some fabric ruffles in like this, like appears on the actual jacket. Okay, and also the emergency bands. draw those in to give it a sense of 3D space. Because those can curve and cause the fabric to look like it is moving around something. Alright. And the pose isn't exactly spot on either, which is fine. So the band is going to be even more curved because of the direction that the arm is facing. Alright, and fortunately for me, since they're going to be holding this axe, let's see, perhaps the axe should be slightly angled. Alright, I'm actually just going to draw on the axe on its own layer right now. Because the shape is good enough that I can just transform it. So I don't have to redraw or reshape it, depending on the angle of the hands. Because the axe should just be facing flat towards the camera. And there's the, what is that called? The bardiche? Or is that only for war hammers? I don't know, I'll have to look that up. Or not warhammer, I mean war axe. Alright then. So move that up slightly. Probably also going to want to angle it downwards as well. Nope, I want... Where is it? Lasso. Ah, darn. I just slightly cut off the corner. There we are. Now, angle downwards, like this. Slightly up again. Let's see, this looks right about what I need. Maybe a bit smaller? No. The size was fine. Alright. And deselect that. And get to work on everyone's favorite aspect of drawing, hands. Now then, as for how this is connected, this is actually a fairly simple hand to draw. Because it's clasped around the axe in the opposite direction. So that'll just be finger lines here. And the thumb goes behind the axe. So I don't actually have to worry about too many details of the hand. Okay. I guess... Yeah, this generally just works out. I do need to have... okay, now. That finger would not come that far off of the grip. It needs to be tight against it. So that means that the angle that I had going previously was far better. Nope, that causes the finger to be too narrow. Oh, I'm getting back into single pixel territory. I'm not too happy about that. Okay, so that's where... Actually, would we even see that line? Would that not... No, we would. We would because of how the angle of the hand is. Alright, so then... Ah, that's why. That's why I have it messed up. I feel like That is the outside angle of the finger, not the interior. Okay. Is it? Oh, now I'm confused. If I make a fist... Alright, time to reference my own hand. Okay. Now this will be the index finger. Let's see, I think I need something narrower to hold. That works. Okay, so if that is the angle of my hand, I'm gripping this. Okay. Yeah, this is also just far too undetailed. I don't know if undetailed is even a word. Not detailed enough. There. And the angle that is approaching is wrong. I put this on the axe layer instead of the torso layer. Alright, how much of this is on the axe layer? Not that much, that's fine. I already erased the majority of what was there anyways. So then, torso layer. I wish I was capable of paying slightly more attention to what I was doing. Alright then. Back to referencing my own hand. If I'm looking at this from a flat angle... See, okay, so the fingers should start around here. So the fingers should appear in the middle of the axe, and then they curve around. Okay. So if I just do a flat angle now, and I add in the finger imprints later. This comes up like this, the outside of the hand. The fingers start here and sort of curve up like this. Yes, this is looking a bit better. So that's all 4 fingers there. So that means that this curves in here. And that is the, or no. It shouldn't curve in like that. It should go like this. And that's the outside of the hand. And the curve of the finger comes back around like this. Sort of. Okay. We'll add the differentiating lines. Okay, so these are the fingers. And now I just need to make them separate entities that don't all connect in one terrifying mitten. Right. The index finger is slightly too far off. I will erase it and bring it closer in line. So that's the finger. Then that is the grip. Once again, I feel there's something missing. That line there? Yes. Yes, I think that's entirely it. Yep, there we go. I solved the riddle. I was missing a line. Okay, but also these fingers are still coming too far off of the handle. guess I need to lasso this and move it in so that the finger line is there. No, too close. Like that. I think that's a bit better. Okay. Now for the thumb. I just have the hand slightly too wide. Or actually, I think the hand might just be too small then in that case. Let's see, the hand should be proportional to the face. So if I just make a lasso around where the hand should be. So, and I drag it over on top of the face. And it should be... Oop. Oh, it did actually select that. How interesting. So then, I create it on a layer that is not the hand. So this is where the hand would be if it was unfurled. And then I just drag this over to where the face is. Come on, move. Tone pattern, move grid. No. I just want to compare the size of things. Just let me do that much. Oh well. But yes, I think the hand is actually just too small. So I can just size that up. That's fine. There's no actual issue there. I just wanted to make certain. Back to the torso. I can get rid of that fake hand line, as well as that portion of the finger that's hidden behind the axe. Now then, I'm going to lasso and just make it a little bit bigger. Ah, but that does also increase the line thickness, which doesn't look great, but it'll be fine because I'll be coloring that anyways. So the thickness itself doesn't matter too much at this point. Also, the lines of the fingers are just wrong. That's not how fingers connect to the hand at all. They shouldn't be pointing in different directions at the very least. Although I guess it's not as bad in gloves, but it just looks kind of odd, right? And that is the line of the hand, which connects to the thumb, which also looks slightly too small now because of how it was drawn. What is that? Is that part of the axe layer? Did I draw that portion of the thumb on the axe? I sure did. I sure did. Alright. But now, that looks about right. And if I erase a portion of the axe layer that is hidden by the hand, you get this. That looks about right. Let's see. I should probably hide the sketch so that I don't have any lines interfering. The wrist. That's the problem I'm having. The wrist. The wrist doesn't meet the body very well. But that's also somewhat fine because jacket's baggy. I guess I have to draw in the cuff. I should also at least attempt to make the wrist look a bit narrower as it moves into the cuff. So there we have the cuff like this. It comes out slightly. It's narrower than the safety band as well. I can get in there and just erase the details that got left behind. Yeah, oh, that's why it doesn't look right. There's still a portion of the axe showing through the hand. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit better. I think I need to lengthen the fingers a bit more. But it wouldn't look very right if they were too much longer. I'll just give them a couple more pixels on each finger. Oops, that's on the axe layer. Back to torso, back to torso. Thank you. Yes, just a bit more on each of them. There. Yeah, that's about right. Alright. That hand took me substantially longer than I thought it would. Alright, and now the clothing. I should make the sketch visible again now. Alright, so because of the heft of the clothing, it emerges at around this point before coming down to the waist. Now, let's see. Okay. Major thing, I need to consider one of the primary aspects of the original drawing is the bust size. That is one of 3 physical details that are given. I already have the other 2. So then, how would this look compressed into a firefighter's suit? Right, so there's the center point of the chest, which I highlighted with the braid. So they should come outwards slightly. Let's see. So they'd run up along the side of this arm. Then, let's see, they should be out from the jacket, I think, is the primary defining of massive. Let's see, so meets the center chest line and comes in. This is just a rough idea of the shape right now. Okay, so connecting points. Starts at around the armpit. So, point here. Let me make the hair invisible for a second. And then point here. Point here. And point here. Okay. So now, if I do this, that should be the general shape. And I meet in at the center like this. Okay. This seems about accurate. Or accurate to what it feels like it should be. Okay. Now if I bring the hair back, that goes into the center, which is fine. In fact, it was partially the desired result. Alright, this one needs to curve out more here, I think. It just looks a bit deflated in comparison to the other one, which is not something that you want. There. Okay, and this is just to get the general shape of it out of the way, because they're going to be, like, all I'm going to get is like a good amount of shading underneath them. So, hair back. Got it. Perhaps I should move this slightly in towards the center. I think I know how to do that. Where is it? Correct line? I'm trying to remember how you overlay a grid on the entire screen and you can just drag portions of it. I don't know that I've ever, or not, I don't know. I've not been able to figure out how to do it myself, but I did recently watch a video where the person drawing was doing that. Although that may just be beyond my skill level at this point. I'll just leave it as is then. Alright. I think I'm just gonna call it here for today. Yeah. I've gotten the majority of the detail that I wanted into it. But I'm having some personal issues right now. Not personal as in emotional, just personal as in my physical well-being is not holding up to this stream right now. So I'm just gonna call it here. Thanks for dropping by, Mitz. Sorry for my timing on the previous stream that meant you weren't able to catch most of it, but there wasn't much there. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed today. I'll probably save a copy of what I've got now and just post it up on Twitter before I move on to probably the final draft of it. I think I'll do this tomorrow. I want to keep drawing more so that I don't get too out of practice. I'll potentially be getting a tablet soon at some point. If not in the near future, then somewhat near future. Yeah. Hope you enjoy your life. That's all for me today.